Hey guys, I'm Frequented World Photography, and this week we're going to do a video on video rendering. I'm getting a new computer this week, so I thought perfect time to do some comparison tests with my old system running behind me and the new Ryzen AMD 1700, which we're getting this week. Before we can do that, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. I've got parts coming from all over the country, different vendors, so we're going to start with just a video card comparison. I've got a couple of programs that are new this year. Movie Studio 14, which was a Sony product before and is now owned by a company called Magix. That's my go-to program. I render 99.9% of my videos on that. And behind me you see Pinnacle Studio 20 is running. I also own that program. It becomes unbearable to use when you're rendering a video with any effects or anything on it, so I don't use it a lot. But we're hoping to see some improvements with the new video card, new CPU, new RAM, etc. But this video we're just going to concentrate on an R9 290 video card that's running behind me and a new GTX 1080 Zotac overclocked card. So it's got a stock overclock on it. What I'm hoping to see is more in the movie studio side of things. They have GPU acceleration, so they're going to use the video card to render our videos. And the last few years, the Sony product, it didn't work the way it was supposed to. After the GTX 580 cards, video rendering was not really supported. It will render effects on the timeline, but it wouldn't help speed up render times of just the straight movie. So a lot of people were disappointed in that. And I'm hoping to see, maybe with the new program, number 14 being released by Magix in February of 2017, maybe they've improved that, and maybe with the new card, we'll even see some more improvement. I'm going to throw in a couple bench tests of this Pinnacle Studio behind me as well, because we have it, and I'm hoping that with the new card and system, we can use some of the cool effects that come with that program, but I'm not sure how that's going to pan out. It's just a really slow program. But we'll try it anyway, and we'll put the benches up for you guys to see. Hey guys, here we are in Movie Studio 14 Platinum, and I just wanted to show you guys where we can change our RAM allocations and GPU acceleration for this program. It's under Options, and at the bottom you click on Preferences. When that comes up, you go under the Video tab, and right here we have Dynamic RAM Preview in megabytes. So the default is 200. And here's where you turn on GPU acceleration. It's either on or off. So mine is on, and I'm using an R9 290 video card. So we're going to use Advanced Micro Devices Hawaii. Now, I just want to mention that, so if you have 16 gigs of RAM like I do, you can allocate as much of that to be used as you want. However, it doesn't affect your rendering times. So if I have a 15-minute movie, and I'm only using 200 megabytes of this right now, it's going to take 26 to 30 minutes to render that movie. I can bump this up to 14 out of my 16 gigabytes, or whatever number I want, and it will not change the render time. A few seconds, less than 10 seconds, up or down. I've had it go either way. So, where this is going to come into play is if you have a lot of transitions on your timeline, a lot of extra effects, new blue effects, things like that, then the GPU helps render those out much more quickly. But if you're just shooting straight video, this Dynamic RAM Preview is not going to change things. So I just leave it at 200 and on, and you will get your fastest rendering times. Even with no effects, you'll gain maybe 5 or 6 seconds for a 15-minute video, so it's negligible. Leave it on, because if you do have a video that have lots of effects, it will speed up your render time quite a bit. These files that I have here came off of my phone, and they were 60 frames, 1920 by 1080 files. And I output them as Sony AVC files, that's MPEG-4 at 25,999 megabits. And I've gone ahead and rendered this file 10 times, changing that Dynamic RAM Preview that I showed you. I've done tests with it set to anywhere from off right up to 10 gigabytes of RAM. So I'll just go over what I found. When we rendered this with GPU acceleration off, it took 3 minutes and 52 seconds to render out this 1 minute and 50 second video. Okay, with GPU rendering on, it was 346, 3 minutes 47 seconds, 3 minutes 47 seconds, 3 minutes, all the time it was 3 minutes 47 or 46 seconds throughout 9 tests, and that didn't matter whether the RAM preview was set to 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, it was always the same, 3 minutes and 46 or 47 seconds. Now when I turned GPU rendering on with 10 gigabytes of RAM being used, 10,240 megabytes, it took 3 minutes and 50 seconds. So I actually allocated more RAM for the computer to use, and it took an extra 3 seconds for the video to render. So it beats me. I don't understand what's going on there, but that's the results we've got. So for this, there is one more thing I'm going to do now. We're going to go back and I'm going to render this again. We're going to add some effects to these videos, to the first 3 clips, and see if that changes the render time. And I'll just go ahead and we'll put that up on the screen right now. How long did it take to render with some sharpening to each of those and a light effect, okay? And you guys are seeing that time on the screen right now. Okay guys, so we've taken our 1 minute and 50 second long video clip along with 10 photos, and we've got the exact same setup now in Pinnacle Studio 20. And we're going to export using the exact same settings that we did in Movie Studio. And I just wanted to show you the screen, 1920 by 1080, 59 frames per second, 26 megabits. The sound is 48 kilohertz, stereo. It's going to be exported as an MPEG-4. So I've already run the original test with this, and I did it 3 times, and actually had a surprising result. It was 2 minutes and 2 seconds to render out this video, which actually beats Movie Studio. Now here is the problem. When we add a simple sharpen effect, so I've just taken the first couple of video clips there, I added sharpen, a light sharpen to each of those clips, and a highlight effect, so just one of 300 effects that you can pick. So I just added a drop shadow kind of here highlighting this. And then if we go ahead and we start the export again, and we'll just call it test 4. Well guys, we're on test number 2 with Pinnacle Studio running behind me. So we're dealing with a 1 minute, 50 second movie clip and 10 photographs. And the first run through of this with a slight bit of sharpening and 1 light effect added, 40 minutes and 15 seconds to render, and that's a 1920 by 1080 file. So it's crazy. It's almost like there's something wrong with this program. I have contacted Pinnacle when I bought this last fall, and I said this is unacceptable, it's crazy, it doesn't work, can you help me? They couldn't help me. There was 0 tech support, nothing. I haven't been able to find anything online either. So I'm going to go ahead and take one more look through the program. It has been updated this morning to the most recent version, and maybe there's some kind of new GPU setting or something in there. I doubt it, but the only reason I still have this program is that Movie Studio does not have AVI support, and my trail cameras use AVI. So I pop my trail camera movies into here, convert them to something that I can use in Movie Studio, and away we go. It's a shame because this program has hundreds of effects you can use, hundreds of transitions you can use. It's a beautiful program. It just does not render at speeds anywhere near 2017 needs. We're not even talking 4K or ultra video resolutions here. We're just talking HD, 1920 by 1080. So again, this is with the R9 290 card, 40 minutes and 15 seconds to render a 2-minute movie. This is the control panel for Pinnacle Studio 20, and we didn't even have those first 2 tests that I ran, both times 40 minutes and 15 and 18 seconds respectively. We had this was set on fastest playback, and I always like to record everything and set it to best quality. I don't know if that's going to make a difference or not. And we did have hardware acceleration correctly set to you've got CUDA or Intel or none, so we've got it set to Intel. And we have this third-party codecs, which was not here before. So I've put a check mark in there, and I'm going to be silly enough to try a third rendering of this video. Let's see what happens. Third run through, even with the check mark in the allow third-party codecs, hasn't made one bit of difference. There's the stopwatch on that. We're at 50%, and we are at 20 minutes, 5 seconds. I'm just going to stop this test here. I don't feel like sitting here another 20 minutes. Let's get the new card in the machine and do some testing with it. Alright guys, so UPS was just here and they've dropped off the video card. It's the Zotac Amp Extreme. So that's the seriously overclocked edition of the GTX 1080. So we're going to go ahead and get this out of here and into the machine so we can finish up our video. Oh my god, look at the size of that thing. Good thing I ordered a full size case to put that in. That's like triple the size of my old video card. Triple the cost as well. Let's get it in and see how it does. Alright guys, I'm going to show you how dedicated I am to finishing this video. This video card, massive, huge thing, will not fit in my old case. So luckily, I've bought a new case for the new machine, and I'm going to have to take everything out of here and build my old computer into the new case so we can finish our testing. Then I'll have to take everything back out and put it back into this case when we're done. This took me a couple of hours to get the old system into the new case. It had to be done. These tests have to be done. And everything up and running. So I've been up and running, and we're back in Video Studio. And I want to say that the card, the new NVIDIA GTX 1080, was recognized right away under GPU acceleration. I didn't have to do anything. It was already on and recognized. However, the first test I ran, it crashed and the system booted me back out to the desktop. I have since then run 3 more tests, and it's run fine. So I'm not sure if that was just a random glitch, but it did crash the first time we used it. And so I've done the math and I've got some results for you, and I'm a little disappointed actually. So what we get is that in rendering this movie in general time with no effects, the average from 3 runs was 409. So that's a difference of 9% slower. So this $750 beast of a video card here behind me is actually slower than my 2.5-year-old R9 290 when it comes to rendering in Movie Studio. Not really surprised. Like I say, the GPU has not been optimized in that program in quite a while. But still, nonetheless, I was hoping Magix would have done something with that, and guys that are going out and dropping big money on these cards would see some benefit. I'm a gamer, that's why I went with this card. It's not a huge disappointment to me, a little bit. There is some good news though, however. When we re-render this program again with effects, this 1 minute and 50-second video, it's actually faster with this card. 7% faster. 4 minutes and 55 seconds after 3 runs. That's the average. So a little slower rendering straight video files, a little faster rendering with effects. It's pretty much a moot point. They 7% for one, 9% for the other. It is what it is. Basically what I wanted to find out is, was there any new support added? And no, there isn't. So any of you guys wondering if Movie Studio 14 is worth an upgrade in terms of better rendering speeds with a high-end NVIDIA card? Nope. I can't answer that about AMD. I doubt it. I don't think they've done anything to that rendering section. I think the program is pretty much the same as it was when Sony owned it. So anyway, that's my findings for that. Let's try the Pinnacle Studio and see what happens there. Okay guys, so I've ran my Pinnacle Studio 20 tests, and what I'm coming up with after 3 runs is, before, with the old card, we were getting 2 minutes and 2 seconds to render out a 150 video, a video that was 1 minute 50 seconds in length. And now we're getting 3 minutes and 13 seconds. So that's a difference of 37% slower. So I'm so glad I spent all this money on a new video card. I'm super disappointed in that. So this program that was actually useless to me before just became 37% slower. So if anybody is wondering, that's the results, guys. There is no point in upgrading your video card if rendering is all you do. If you're a gamer, great. These cards are phenomenal. They'll last you for the next 10 years. In terms of video editing, no change. You might as well keep your old card. Even keep the card before the old card. The GTX 560, 70, 80, all of those, they were even better. So we're going in the wrong direction with this rendering stuff. Okay, so I just wanted to show you guys what's happening in Pinnacle Studio. This is rendering real time, our movie. An effect is not been applied to this first clip, and look at how fast it's going through the frames. Okay, now watch what happens as soon as we get to a clip that has an effect on it. That's how long it takes to go through each frame. And that's what's slowing the process down. And so this is with the new video card and with GPU, NVIDIA rendering enabled. And it was the exact same speed or close to it with the R9 290. I'm not even going to bother to let this test run. I'm just so frustrated that it's pointless. Okay guys, stay tuned because the next video I put up is the important one. We're going to try the new Ryzen CPU. I got to get the motherboard. That's the last piece I'm waiting for. When we get that, there will be another video. I'll redo all these tests. And I'm praying to God that 8 cores, 16 threads is going to make a video editing difference. So stay tuned.